And good afternoon. I'm sorry, good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, family and friends. It is Wednesday. Exciting day today, exciting week. Tonight, as you know, or if you may not know, tonight is the presidential debate between Biden and Trump. If you're planning on watching it, great. If you are not planning on watching it, I'm going to give you a quick synopsis. It's going to be two old guys talking about a lot of stuff that most people don't understand or don't care about. There we go. Okay. But in case you are interested, I'm going to go over some highlights of things to watch out for or to look for, whether you watch it or you check the highlights of it tomorrow. Okay. Number one, questions that I think are going to come up in some form or fashion, okay? Let me give you a quick backstory. I want to say it was either sometime this week or last week, Putin for Russia and Kim Jong, whatever, for China. They had a play date. They went to a parade together. They were smiling and waving. Them and their interpreters got to eat lunch, and apparently they were showing that they're good friends. Okay, so one of the questions that should be brought up, or that I'm assuming is going to be brought up during the debate, is how the next president is going to deal with a potential Russia-China alliance. We know one of the presidents is buddy already with Vladimir Putin, and his daughter has like 200 patents in China that nobody else could get, okay? Now, is that important? I don't know. I think it's something to look out for, okay? Another thing that I'm expecting to be brought up, of course somebody's going to, at some point it's going to be brought up, hey, you're actually a felon, blah, blah, blah. All right, that's the low-hanging fruit. We're going to leave that alone, okay? One of the things that I expect to be asked is, whoever gets elected, will you accept the election results? Will you let your supporters know that, hey, I've ran a good race, and it is what it is, and thank you all, but take your silly behinds home and don't storm the Capitol? At some form or another, that question is going to come up, okay? And I want to know, hey, are you going to accept the results? Are you going to say, let a peaceful transition of power? Because if you're telling us right now that you think the election's rigged, why are you even running? If you think it's rigged already, or you think it was already rigged, why are you even running? Okay? Just think about that for a minute. That doesn't even make any sense, right? Okay. Another thing to look for from these debates is, it's in the Constitution. It's called separation of church and state. Okay, now where that comes from is back when the settlers were coming over from England. One of I won't say the main, but one of the reasons they left is because the Catholic Church ran England. And people that came over here, they were Methodists, they were Protestants, they were Baptists. They didn't want to just be Catholic. Okay, so that's in the Constitution, a separation of church and state. Well, lo and behold, we have a Republican-run state of Louisiana, which I'm betting most people cannot name two cities in the state of Louisiana. We'll come back to that in just a minute, okay? I really don't have a problem with the Republican Party. What I have a problem with is these jackwagon, knuckle-dragger morons that keep getting elected that call themselves Republicans, okay? And I'm going to tell you why. Louisiana, out of the 50 states, is number 38 in reading, okay? They're almost at the bottom. But they are banning books. And now, in their divine wisdom, they have decided to make the 10 Commandments mandatory in classrooms, from elementary up to college. You're 38th in reading. They can't read their school books. You think they're going to read the 10 Commandments? All right. In my mind, if you want your kids learning about church, get your lazy butt up and take them on Sunday. Okay? Take them to Sunday school. Take them to church. All right? That's just my opinion. Okay. That aside, 38th in reading. What they don't understand with these, and this is what I'm talking about when I say these these knuckle dragging, slow Republicans that keep getting elected, they didn't think this through. They did not think this through. So, I don't think this law is going to stay on the books. I think it's going to get overturned. But let me tell you what they're opening the door for, all right? Well, now we've got the 10 Commandments in elementary school. Well, damn. Guess what else that means? Because it's EEO's equal equality. Now you've got to have Muslim teachings, Jewish teachings, Hindu teachings, atheist teachings. That's a religion. And New Orleans, that's a city in Louisiana, witch doctor teachings. So you can have your 10 commandments, your 10 Antichrist commandments, your Muslim, your Jewish, your witch doctor. You can have all these things because they just opened that door. Did they not think this through? Because I hope this makes sense. Because that's what they just did. They just opened that door. Well, again, I don't think that law is going to stand, but if it does, I guarantee you that that's going to happen. You're going to see teachers from the Quran, teachers from the Torah. You're going to see Antichrist. It's going to be in there because we have, as a country, we have the freedom of religion. Come one, come all. You can't have one if you can't have you can't have one if you got none. Okay. All right, let me woosah. Let me woosah for a minute, because that, to me, that's just the dumbest, Anyway, I'm going to tell you guys a secret, and this is something that I learned a good 20, maybe 30 years ago, okay? This is one of the other things they're probably going to talk about, and that is inflation. Inflation is is making $5 profit, make $5 in a dime, $5 and a quarter, $5.50, $6. That's what inflation is. Is companies wanting to make more money for their shareholders. Well, hopefully that came back. Well, I have to edit the video maybe later, but make a long story short, inflation is, like I said, it's something made up that companies do so they can make more money year after year. All right. Now, the secret of being wealthy, and this is literally the definition, okay, in my mind, I'm sure I read it in a book or something like that. Wealthy means you save more than you spend. It's that simple. If you make $100 a week and all of your bills are $49, which means you save $51, you will be. If you have $1 million and you spend $999,000, you're going to be broke. Okay? You have to save more than you spend. Now, that sounds, you're trying to call me. I see what you're doing. Anyway, trying to mess up my live. I see what you're doing. All right. So again, inflation is a way for companies to make more money. As long as you save more money than you spend, you'll always be wealthy. So you say, how do you do that? Well, damn. If you have to get the designer clothes, you go to Walmart for your shoes instead of buying $300 Nikes. You learn to do your hair and nails at home instead of going to the salon. Instead of going to 5-star restaurants, learn to cook. Learn to cook and quit being lazy. Okay? If your rent and utilities are more than 50% of what you make in a month, you are always living paycheck to paycheck. Okay? I may not be the smartest person in the world, but my car is 2 years old and it's paid off. My house is paid off. I don't have a mortgage. I don't have a car payment. And those are probably the two biggest bills that everybody has. My car is brand new. 2 years old, paid off. House, relatively new, paid off. How did I do that? I made sure that my spending, I lived within, called living within your means. I never spend more than half of what I make. I always save 51%. That's it. So whatever you have to do, if you're paying too much, that means you either got to do one or two things. You either got to move out of that place you're in to someplace cheaper, a 1-bedroom, or move to the hood. You may not like that, or get a second job. That's it. Because as long as you are spending more than 51% of what you make, you're always going to be broke. There it is. That's my soapbox. Hopefully it didn't get interrupted too many times. Again, thank you guys for watching. Thank you for support. And Oh boy, please save our country from these crazies. And I mean, there's crazies on both sides, but you know the ones I'm talking about. They're not all good. Some of them bad actors. Thank you guys, and have a good afternoon.